At the beginning of the drama, the female lead Xia spends the night with CEO Jincheng, and in the morning, Xia thinks, "Today is my wedding, and last night while drunk I did something very wrong." Just then, Jincheng says, "Here, take this money for last night." Xia says, "I am not that kind of girl. Keep your card." Jincheng says, "You are exactly that kind of girl," and leaves. Then Xia reaches the wedding hall, and Grandpa says, "Get ready quickly." After this, Xia gets ready, and Jincheng says to Grandpa, "You saved that girl on the day of the accident, but I cannot marry a stranger," and announces on stage, "This wedding is cancelled." Hearing this, Xia says, "I don't want to get married either. I will go tell him right now." But Jincheng leaves. Outside, Jincheng's friend says, "Grandpa is saying get married. Otherwise, he will never give you the well company, and your own company is very small." Still, Jincheng does not listen to him, and Grandpa says to Xia, "Don't worry, here is the marriage certificate. You are his official wife." Xia says, "I don't remember anything after the accident. You are my only family." And Grandpa gives Xia a card. Next day, Xia and Jincheng are shocked to see each other in the office lift. Jincheng says, "Looks like you want more money?" Xia says, "Stop talking nonsense. I have come for an interview." And finding the card says, "I will give you your card tomorrow. Understand?" And Jincheng leaves, laughing. After this, Xia is shocked to see Jincheng in the interview room. Jincheng says, "How can a girl like you do a job?" Xia says, "You know nothing about my talent." Just then, director Feng comes and shows designs. Seeing the designs, Xia remembers, "Enren, you are the best designer," and says, "These designs belong to Enren." Feng says, "Enren has been missing since the accident," and assistant Hu Xiao informs via message, "These are indeed Enren's designs." Jincheng asks Xia, "How did you know this?" Xia says, "I don't know." Then Jincheng gets angry at Feng and gives Xia the job. Xia happily says, "Thank you, you are very cute." Feng says, "Come with me." And Jincheng says on a call, "I need details about Xia." Feng, while giving the file, says, "From today, you will prepare the designs for Mr. Lu Chen." The next day, while playing golf, Lu Chen touches Xia. Just then, Jincheng and Mr. John arrive and John meets Lu Chen. Xia asks to sign the contract, and Lu Chen, giving water, says, "I have to go now, you change too." Then Xia changes, and Lu Chen comes inside. Xia says, "How did you come inside?" Lu Chen says, "Today you will stay with me, you will do whatever I say." Xia says, "I am Mr. Well's wife," and hits Lu Chen and runs away. And while fainting, she hugs Jincheng in the lift saying, "Please save me." Jincheng kicks Lu Chen. Xia faints. Lu Chen, apologizing, says, "Forgive me, I didn't know she's your wife." Jincheng says, "Her and my wife." Lu Chen says, "So she lied to me. Anyway, if she were your wife, why would she come to me?" Just then, Jincheng says to assistant Hu Xiao, "Cancel Lu Chen's contract," and takes Xia away. After this, laying her down in the bedroom, he says, "How could you stoop so low for a contract and then even called yourself my wife?" Xia kisses Jincheng and says, "Grandpa got me married to Mr. Well." Jincheng is shocked and kisses Xia. Then, he lays Xia in the bathtub and turns on the tap. Both look at each other and start kissing. In the next scene, Xia sees herself in different clothes and screams, and Jincheng says, "Don't worry, I didn't do anything." And Xia remembers that she had told everything while drunk. But Jincheng says, "Don't joke again that you are Well's wife," and leaves. In the next scene, Xia says to Feng, "You deliberately sent me to Lu Chen." Feng says, "And because of you, the company suffered a loss. What about that?" And Jincheng comes and says, "Who suffered a loss? I canceled the contract, and from today, Xia will only work in the office. Did you understand?" And Feng thinks about getting Xia fired from the office. Just then, Grandpa calls and comes to the office to meet Xia. Feng sees them and says, "She is after a rich old man, what a shameless girl." After this, Grandpa says to Xia, "Did you tell in the office that you are Well's wife?" Xia says, "No, I just want to work here." Just then, Jincheng arrives and Feng says, "Xia is having an affair with an old man," and Jincheng looks at Xia angrily and leaves. Just then, assistant Hu Xiao says to Feng, "Grandpa said on the call, Mr. Jincheng's wife is standing downstairs." Feng says, "I am here." Hu Xiao says, "So you are Jincheng's wife?" Feng says, "Yes, take care of me from now on, and don't tell this to anyone." Then in the cabin, Jincheng says, "Xia, your designs are very beautiful. From now on, you will work in the designing department. Be careful. The designs should not be someone else's." Xia says, "Why would I copy?" and leaves. After this, Feng gives Xia a lot of files and says, "I need all this work completed by tomorrow." Xia works late night and Grandpa messages, "I have sent dinner for you at the office." Xia says thank you to Grandpa and bumps into Jincheng. Both start looking at each other. Just then food arrives and Jincheng says, "Food? From such an expensive restaurant?" Just then Grandpa calls and Xia says laughing, "Your order has arrived." Jincheng thinks, Feng was right, she definitely has an affair. Then Grandpa says, "I have sent gifts and the locker key with Hu Xiao, and I have told Mr. Shu everything. He will always help you." The next day, Hu Xiao gives the gift to Feng. Feng becomes happy, and everyone in the office starts thinking Feng is Jin Cheng's wife. Just then, Jia comes and says, "How dare you touch my things?" A colleague says, "She is Mr. Well's future wife. Understand?" Xia says, "Stop the nonsense. Grandpa sent all this to me." Then Feng, showing the key, says, "Don't dream. This is the locker key. Your old boyfriend can never bring all this." After this, Feng says to everyone, "Tomorrow we will all party at Mr. Well's house." Xia calls Mr. Xu. Jin Cheng, hearing the conversation, thinks, "Xia is keeping an eye on me and my money." Then everyone goes to Grandpa's house, and Feng says, "I am now Well's future wife, so you guys enjoy here." Just then, the helper remembers the photo of Jin Cheng's wife, and seeing Xia asks, "Who is this?" Feng says, "She just works in the office." Xia says, "This is my husband's house." A colleague says, "You are jealous of Feng. That's why you were saying all this." Xia says, "Then ask the helper who Well's wife is." The helper fearfully names Feng. Just then, Jin Cheng arrives, and Mr. Xu says, "Today your wife has come home." Jin Cheng goes home angry. Then colleagues, seeing the wine, say, "I have never drunk such expensive wine before." The helper says, "This wine belongs to Sir. You people cannot drink it." Feng slaps the helper and says, "Do as much as you are told." Everyone enjoys, and Feng says to Xia, "If you apologize, you can also enjoy." Just then, Jin Cheng comes and says, "What is all this happening?" and says to the helper, "How did you serve such expensive wine without asking?" Then he fires the helper from the job. The helper says, "I did everything at the Mrs. S behest." Jin Cheng tells everyone to leave and thinks that Xia had invited everyone. Xia says, "I didn't do all this. Feng did." After this, the helper, apologizing to Jin Cheng, says, "I cannot leave this job. Don't fire me from the job. From now on, I will take care of Mrs. Well." Xia says, "Quiet. I don't have to tell him this truth. I only had to tell Feng the truth." Then Xia goes after Jin Cheng and thinks, surely he likes Feng. Xia, smiling, asks, "Did you come here for me?" Jin Cheng says, "Hu Xiao told me that Mr. Well's wife came home, so I came to throw her out of the house. And one more thing, stop digging for information about me." Xia says, "What? What did I do?" And Jin Cheng leaves Xia alone and goes away. But Jin Cheng worries about Xia and comes to pick Xia up and says, "Get in the car." Xia happily gets in. In the next scene, both go shopping. Jin Cheng says, "Choose a dress according to your age. I have to make the payment, so you will have to take a dress of my choice." She gets angry and tries on many dresses and shows them, and Jin Cheng gives her one dress to wear. Just as Xia arrives, Huo comes and says, "And Ren, I found you. I was searching for you for so long." Meanwhile, Jin Cheng comes and holds Xia, and Xia says, "I don't know him, don't know who he is," and leaves with Jin Cheng. Then Huo says, "What happened to her? Why is she not recognizing me? Looks like she has forgotten everything." Outside, Jin Cheng says, "Why did this boy come to you? You surely know him." Xia says, "I don't remember anything since the accident." Just then, the saleswoman packs all the dresses and gives them, saying, "You are a very nice couple." And both say, "We are not a couple." After this, Xia says, "You took all the dresses." Jin Cheng says, "I liked all the dresses on you. I couldn't choose one, that's why." And Xia, while Jin Cheng drops her home, says, "Thank you for so many dresses. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye." Then Jin Cheng smiles and says, "1 minute, I also had a flat in this building, but I never came. On the 5th floor, but how is the light on there?" And goes to his flat. There, Xia is in the bathtub and hearing the noise, falls out, and Jin Cheng, Xia are shocked to see each other. Xia says, "Why did you come here?" Jin Cheng says, "This flat belongs to Mr. Well." And Xia remembers Grandpa had said, "Well has a flat, you can live in it. He never comes there." Xia says, "I have rented this house." And Jin Cheng thinks maybe the manager rented out the house. After this, Jin Cheng says, "Sorry." And Xia says, "You are my boss. Otherwise, I would tell the police. Get out now." And while speaking, faints. Then Jin Cheng tries to bring down Xia's fever and looking at her, moves forward to kiss, then stops and goes to the bathroom and says to himself, "I will go crazy because of this girl. I forget she has an affair. Okay, I must not do this now." Just then, Grandpa's call comes on Xia's phone, and Jin Cheng picks up and says, "Hello," but Xia takes the phone. Then Grandpa says, "Who is this boy with you?" Xia says, "Nobody, my throat is just bad. Yes, I will have dinner." "Okay, bye, Grandpa." Then Jin Cheng says, "Why didn't you tell that a boy is with you?" Xia says, "They would get worried, that's why." Jin Cheng says, "So that day in the office your grandpa had come to meet you?" Xia says, "Yes." And Jin Cheng thinks, "Until now, I thought grandpa was her boyfriend." Then Jin Cheng says, "Still, why didn't you tell them about me?" And Xia says, "He is my husband's grandpa and I cannot even get a divorce." Jin Cheng says, "Surely that old man must be stubborn. Anyway, I can help you in getting a divorce." And Jin Cheng starts to leave. Just then, Xia goes behind. Then Jin Cheng says, "Actually, since that night and Xia stops Jin Cheng and says, "Quiet, quiet. Whatever happened that night happened by mistake. Forget it." And Jin Cheng leaves. In the next scene, Feng places coffee in Jin Cheng's cabin and says, "Whatever happened that day was all because of Xia, and because of her, everyone faced problems." Jin Cheng says, "Stop it, Feng. I am not blind." it would be better if I don't ask anyone what happened that day. Focus on your job. Feng says, okay, and leaves. After this, Feng thinks of taking revenge on Xia and says to everyone, we have to complete all the dresses today. Xia, you are new, so help everyone. Then the other colleagues repeatedly ask Xia to fetch things and trouble her. After a while, the other colleagues leave, and Xia accidentally spills water on Jincheng and says, I am sorry, I didn't see you. In response, Jincheng says, I had said that night that I will help you with the divorce, so whenever you need help, let me know, and leaves. Then Xia thinks, why is he suddenly worrying about me? But I cannot tell all this to Grandpa either. And while thinking, the box falls down, and seeing Jincheng again, Xia says, you scared me. Jincheng says, what did you think? Xia says, about what? Jincheng says, about the divorce. And Xia says, I haven't met my husband yet, but Grandpa is sweet. Then Jincheng asks, what is his name? Xia starts to speak. Just then, food arrives, and Xia becomes happy and says, now I will eat food. We'll talk tomorrow. And starts eating a lot of food. Jincheng smiles, seeing Xia happy. In the next scene, Feng, seeing the dress designed by Xia, says, how can Xia make a better design than me? I will never let this happen. The next day, Feng says to Xia, you have been fired from the office. Yesterday my bracelet was stolen. Then a colleague says, and you were the only one working there. You stole it. Get out of here. Just then Grandpa says, who are you to fire her? Feng says, okay, now you have called this old man too. Then Grandpa says, neither you nor your CEO has the guts to fire her. And taking out his phone says, tell me your name. I will get you fired from this office. After this, Feng throws Grandpa's phone, and Grandpa faints. Just then Feng says, security, take them out. And Xia shouts, please someone call an ambulance. In the next scene in the hospital, Xia, seeing the news, says, Feng has stolen my design. And Grandpa says, we will not let her win this time. Then Xia says, no, Grandpa, you rest. I will handle everything. After this, Xia leaves, and Jincheng comes to Grandpa in the hospital and says, Grandpa, are you okay? Then Grandpa says, there are such nasty people in your office. They made me angry, and all this happened. And Jincheng says, who made you angry? Tell me. Then Grandpa says, I don't know the name. Go ask in your office itself. And Jincheng says, relax, I will find out right now. Meanwhile, at the exhibition, everyone praises Feng. Feng starts telling about her dress. Just then, Xia comes and says, this design is mine, and shows the design papers to everyone. Then Feng throws the papers and says, you are lying. No new designer can design such a beautiful dress. Xia says, this design is not yet complete, and shows the final design to everyone. Just then Feng says, she must have copied all this from my computer. Do you have any proof? Then Jincheng comes and says, I have proof. She made these designs working late night in front of me. After this, Feng drops the mannequin on both of them, and Jincheng says, come, I will take you to the hospital. Outside, Grandpa with Mr. Shu, seeing Jincheng and Xia, hide behind the wall. Mr. Shu says, Grandpa, why are we hiding? Then Grandpa says, I don't want to disturb them. Looks like they both have started loving each other. In the next scene in the hospital, Xia says, why did you let Feng go with just a warning? Jincheng says, because she saved my life. Tell me how much money you want for the design. Then Xi, thinking, shows 5 fingers, and Jincheng, giving a high five, says, okay, I will pay you myself, and smiles while feeding Xie an orange. Next day, all colleagues congratulate Xia on becoming the director. After this, Xia goes to Feng's cabin and says, you still haven't accepted your mistake. Feng says, you make an old man your boyfriend. At least I am not like you. Then Xia says, aren't you ashamed spreading such false rumors? Don't think of me like this, rabbit. And Feng takes her things and leaves. Just then, Grandpa calls and says, I have booked a room for you and your husband. You both meet, talk. I want a great grandson soon. After this, Jincheng comes to Xia's room and says, now you can work here comfortably. Xia says, no, the problem is something else. Then Jincheng says, tell me, I will help. Xia says, Grandpa wants a great grandson. Then Jincheng holds Xia and says, how can he say that? All this is happening because of that stupid grandpa. Why are you ruining your life? And Xia says, relax, relax. Then Jincheng says, I told you before, get a divorce from that alien. Xia says, what did you say, alien? Jincheng says, yes, because even his face is not known. Then Xia says, could it be that you like me? Jincheng says, you are an employee. That's why I'm helping you, and nothing else. Just then, Grandpa calls Jincheng and says, get free from the office early. Today you have to go for dinner with your wife. And Jincheng cuts the call and says, why is my grandpa like this too? After this, holding Xia's hand, he says, please come pretending to be my girlfriend. I will give you money. And Xia agrees and goes to the hotel. There she is shocked seeing Grandpa and says, you are very strong. Just then, Grandpa, giving fruit, says, this is very good for the heart. Eat. Meanwhile, let's wait for your husband. While waiting, Xia says, Grandpa, I'll go to the washroom and come back. Meanwhile, as soon as Xia leaves, Jincheng arrives there. Then Grandpa says, your wife will sit there. You sit next to me. And thinks, He is acting in front of me and meets Xia behind my back. Just then, Jincheng says to Grandpa, I have to tell you a truth. Today my girlfriend is coming to meet me. Hearing this, Grandpa gets angry. Meanwhile, outside, Xia hits a wall and faints, and Huo takes her to the hospital. Then Jincheng calls Xia, and Huo picks up and says, and Ren is in the hospital. Jincheng says, not in Ren. Xia. Huo gets confused. After this, Jincheng says to Grandpa, my girlfriend is in the hospital. I have to go. In the hospital, Xia regains consciousness and recognizes Huo. Outside, Jincheng sees them both hugging and leaves angrily. Then, Huo says to Xia, so you lost your memory in the car accident and that Grandpa saved you? By the way, who was that boy? Just then, Xia remembers that she had saved Jincheng's life once, but Jincheng thinks Feng saved his life. Then Xia says to Huo, this means Feng lied. After this, she calls Grandpa from Huo's phone. On the other hand, Jincheng sadly while drinking says, now you don't need a divorce, now you have found your husband, and remembers moments spent with Xia. Just then, Feng comes and mixes something in Jincheng's drink and goes to the room with him. Then Jincheng, thinking Feng is Xia, comes close, but seeing Feng, throws her out. After this, Jincheng, while drunk, calling Xia, faints. Just then, Xia comes and changes Jincheng's clothes. Then Jincheng says, Xia, I love you very much. I really like you. And both start kissing each other. After this, putting Jincheng to sleep, Xia says to herself, sorry Grandpa, but I will have to divorce your grandson. I also love Jincheng, and leaves. Just then, Feng comes into the room and sleeps next to Jincheng. The next morning, Jincheng is shocked seeing her and says, were you with me at night? Feng says, yes, we were both together the whole night. Then, Jincheng gets angry at Xia. Meanwhile, Grandpa says to Xia, I will make my grandson understand to leave his girlfriend, don't you worry. Just then, Xia starts telling about Jincheng. Meanwhile, Jincheng angrily says on the call, Xia, come to the office quickly. Then Jincheng, giving a file, says, I need new designs quickly. Xia says, what happened to you? Why are you so angry? Just then, Feng sits next to Jincheng and says to Xia, now leave the cabin. Xia leaves. Then Feng says, Jincheng, I have talked to An Ren. She is ready to work with our company. Jincheng says to Feng, okay, anyway, after last night, don't expect a relationship. Take as much money as you want from the card. In the next scene, Grandpa giving a card says, tomorrow is the office function. Go buy a dress for yourself. After this, Xia goes out. Then Grandpa says, I am going fishing with my friend. Bye. Just then, Xia talks to the saleswoman. Meanwhile, Feng comes and says, this girl is a thief. She stole my bracelet, and she cannot even buy such a dress. Give this to me. The saleswoman and Xia both start laughing at her words. Then Feng, showing the card given by Jincheng, says, I can buy everything. Xia is shocked and says, Jincheng's card. Just then, Jincheng arrives. Xia says, are you two together? Jincheng says, I don't need to tell you anything, and leaves. After this, Xia remembers Jincheng's words and starts crying. Just then, Huo calls and says, and Ren, come to the office quickly. On the other hand, Jincheng and Feng welcome the fake An Ren, and she is shocked seeing Xia. Then Xia says, An Ren, we like your designs very much. Very happy to meet you. Just then, Feng pushes Xia away and says, An Ren's memory hasn't fully returned yet. Stay away. The fake An Ren thinks, maybe the real An Ren doesn't remember anything, and smiles. Everyone sits in the cabin and Z brings coffee, and giving the design says, these are not like your designing style. Just then, Feng says, keep your mouth shut. These must be her designs, right? Then the fake An Ren angrily says, looks like you people don't want to work with me at all. And Jincheng says, Xia, apologize to An Ren. And Xia apologizes and leaves. Then Jincheng, following Xia, thinks, she cannot talk to An Ren like this. Surely something is wrong. Just then, someone kidnaps Xia, and someone says to Jincheng on the call, Xia was with you at night. Feng came after she left. In response, Jincheng says, I knew it. And not seeing Xie shouts, Xie, where are you? And suspects Feng. After this, checking at Xie's house, he calls, find out quickly, where is Xie? On the other side, Xie says to the kidnapper, let me go. The kidnapper replies, you can go, but after 5 days, and starts touching Xia. Just then, Jincheng comes and hits the kidnapper, and hugging Xia says, don't be scared, I am near you. And both start kissing each other. Then Jincheng says, I saved your life, now you are mine. Xia replies, you will have to be mine too, because I saved your life first. After this, Jincheng says, this means Feng lied. She also lied to me about last night. Maybe she also got you kidnapped. Xia says, no, Zhang must have done this. Jincheng asks, who is Zhang? Xia replies, the one who is the fake An Ren because the real An Ren is me. Jincheng is shocked. Then Xia says, the boy who met at the store, he was my assistant, and in the hotel he helped me, and when I fell, my memory returned. Jincheng asks, so you hadn't met your husband? Xia says, hadn't met. and Jincheng hugs Xia. Then Jincheng says, let's tell the police everything. Xia says, no, I want to know why the kidnapper wanted to keep me for 5 days. Over at the function, the fake Anren thinks, after this function, Jincheng's company will shut down. Then Feng says on stage, today we are going to show you our company's best designs. And seeing the designs, a guest says, these are our company's designs. I myself bought these designs. Feng says, this cannot happen. You can ask Anren herself. And Anren says, I did not design this. These people's company has copied it. Feng says, Anren, tell everyone you gave these designs to me. Just then the guests say, we need to talk to Mr. Jincheng. And the fake Anren says, I came to help this company and to announce that from now on I will not do designing. Just then, Zia comes and says, who is leaving designing? And a guest says, now who are you? Just then Huo says, looks like Mr. You forgot me. The guest says, Mr. Huo, Anren's assistant. And Huo says, yes, and today meet Anren too. Just then, Jincheng stops the fake Anren from running away. And the real Anren says, this is my assistant Zhang. I forgot everything due to the accident. Huo found me. Just then, the police come and arrest Zhang for attempting to murder Anren. And Anren is shocked and says, my murder? Just then, Jincheng's friend comes and says, yes, Jincheng asked me to investigate and I found her. Then Huo says, why did you get her kidnapped? Zhang says, I wanted to ruin Anren's image in front of everyone. The guests say, but Jincheng's company copied the designs. You can sell me this company for 3 million. And C changes the pen drive and showing new designs says, those were the wrong designs. Our real designs are these. Just then Jincheng comes and says, we did not copy anyone's designs. These are Anren's own designs. She is our company's designer. After this, the guest angrily grabs Feng and says, you lied to me that the company would be available for 3 million. And Jincheng hearing this gets both arrested. Just then Xia says, I have to go now. And Jincheng's friend says, forget it, now become the owner of the Well Company by marrying your company and Grandpa's choice. And everyone hearing this says, Jincheng is the young Mr. Well. Then everyone starts coming towards Jincheng. Just then, Jincheng gets a call, Grandpa's in the hospital, and Jincheng goes to the hospital. Meanwhile, outside the police station, Xia says, today I will tell Grandpa I want to get a divorce. Just then, Grandpa calls and says, come to the hospital quickly, I fell while fishing with a friend. I have brought a big fish for you. And Xia says, forget the fish, Grandpa. I am coming right now. In the hospital, the nurse says, there is no serious problem, and this fish cannot be kept here. I will keep it safely outside. And Jincheng says, let's go home. Just then, Grandpa says, no, you will have to meet your wife. In response, Jincheng says, she is not my wife. I love someone else. And Grandpa, hearing this, starts hitting Jincheng with a stick. Just then, she comes and says, oh, Mr. Jincheng, how are you? Grandpa says, you know him? Xia says, he is my boss. And Grandpa says, made your wife an employee. And both are shocked. Then Jincheng holds Xia's hand and says, so you are already my wife. And Xia says, and you are my alien husband. After this, Jincheng's friend says, wow, so you fell in love with your own wife. And Grandpa says, come on, take my fish. Let's go home now. In the next scene, Anren is on the stage, and Jincheng's friend says, congratulations, guys, but why haven't the wedding function started? Anren says, because Grandpa hasn't arrived. Just then, Grandpa arrives. Then everyone enjoys the food, and Anren says, Grandpa first, let's all click photos. Then they click photos, and with this, the drama ends.